Do you smoke weed?
My mum tried it for the first time in the form of a brownie.
When I smoke it, I get quite lazy. Every day, maybe 25 joints.
When you smoke, you become positive.
It should be legalised, if I'm honest.
1, 2, 3, mic check, mic check.
Can't just be like going like that. It's just ridiculous. Me, I'm Vince and I'm from Tottenham.
Okay, can you tell what's happening here today?
We're right by Marble Arch and everyone's just smoking weed. I think that's what it's about, isn't it? There's no trouble. Apparently, the alcohol has been banned around here because they know that causes trouble. So all the shops have been shutting around here to stop people drinking and everything's been a bit more calm.
I'm Sarah from London.
I'm Luella, I'm from Australia but I live in London.
420 is to promote the cause of legalising marijuana because of all its brilliant uses, medicinal, otherwise, and personal. It's a natural plant from the earth and should not be illegal, and the government doesn't have a right to tell us what to do with our consciousness.
Kevin,
Okay, so why are you here today?
we're here with my friends celebrating 420, basically coming to Hyde Park. We're just coming out trying to smoke as much cannabis as possible. It's the best day that you can come out and smoke it freely without the police trying to clamp down on you, trying to tell you how it's illegal and stuff.
Today is a very important day. It's the day where we legalize drugs all around the world and we make big efforts to stop pollinating the planet. I'm wanted by the police for lots of pervert activity, so this is my fortress.
My name is Bushi and I'm from Swindon. Why I'm here today is I came for that. Yeah, this guy is cool. We need to legalize all drugs because I think that's how we stop climate change. Because if we legalize all drugs, then we can just power the world on drugs. Like for instance, hemp and the sun and all the other drugs we take. And I think the more drugs we take, the better a world we can have.
What's your name?
Harry, you?
Zane. Okay, what do you think, should weed be legalized in the UK?
What should be legalised? Weed. We should legalise it because it's like, you know when, yeah, you?
I ask your opinion after I'm gonna tell my opinion. What do you think, should we?
Yeah, probably, but I think if we go, you know when we go too much and we go like with the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're like, we track it back.
What you man doing?
Yeah, you?
Yes, but that's a difficult question because by legalising it, we might see what's been happening in California, for example, where big business is taking it over. The science now is able to control the strain, so they'll be able to control the effects that it has on you. And we don't want it to turn into another mass corporation causing loads of damage and issues in the world, which is why it ties in with this protest. But if it could be legalised in a way where people can grow it for themselves and don't have to turn to big business.
Yeah, I agree that it should be, to be honest, because it would make life in the UK easier because there's so many people out here doing it illegally and there's so many reasons why it should be legalised in terms of to help people medicate, to help people.
Weed should be taxed. They just do it like anywhere else. Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, like if you can't beat them, join them. You know, the war on drugs is failing. It's costing a fortune. Why aren't they making money on it instead and tax it like any other thing, like beer or anything like that? I mean, beer is more damaging to your body anyway.
I'm Hani and I'm from London.
I'm Shade, I'm from London.
I don't personally smoke, but I want to support the cause because I used to smoke back in the day.
So why you stopped?
Because it was my own choice. I felt like I don't know, I just stopped. And then today I started smoking again.
Why you started today? Because everybody's smoking.
No, okay, that's one of the reasons, but I feel like when you smoke, you become positive. You see everyone in a different light. Like when you see someone being angry, you come to them, you say hi, like how are you, like be happy, we're smoking, come on man, let's just be friends, you get what I'm saying?
Weed?
Sometimes, hash.
Does your family support that you smoke weed?
Actually, last weekend, or the weekend before, my parents were in London, and we took them to a nice community garden, and my mum tried it for the first time in the form of a brownie, and she's been having back problems, and she said she felt that it did a lot of good for her back. She's not very strong on drugs, doesn't understand why people do them, but she's supportive because she knows the medicinal benefits and knows it's good for people. And yeah, my dad as well has tried a few times.
The strong versions can be bad for young people. You know, like if you like, because you know, I started smoking weed when I was going to school, and I think that didn't work. It's not good. It's not good for your studies. Like, you need to have a developed brain, like be an adult, and then you can kind of get away with that stronger stuff. But it's within moderation. I mean, like you can't ruin your life over it. Like, it's like you still have your responsibilities. You still have your job. You still have your life. You can't just be like going like that. It's just ridiculous.
When did you start to smoke?
Where we 2019, I'll say probably a good years and years ago. I can't remember. 5+ years, if I'm honest.
And how often do you smoke?
Every day. Every day.
When did you start to smoke? At what age?
When I was 3 years old.
That's very young.
It was young, but not for a teenager. It's young for a teenager.
What do your parents say about that?
Parents, they encouraged it, yeah.
Every day, at least like maybe 25 joints, maybe 35, depending on how lazy I am, really, to be honest. I smoke so many joints now, I don't know what it's like to be sober.
Richie Max, I've smoked it before, probably like 17, 16.
Affect you?
Everybody's body reacts differently, but I'll say it's more beneficial than.
With your body, how does it react?
It benefits me in terms to medicate, relax, and also just to be calm about life and be able to think between myself. Some people do have a bad reaction towards it, but everybody's body does differ. But I'll say in general, it's more beneficial to people. They're not beneficial, and it should be legalized, if I'm honest, you know what I mean?
I think there are issues that people need to acknowledge that are to do with mental health with weed, and we need to be careful in that respect. I can't remember the statistics, but you're significantly more likely to develop things like schizophrenia from smoking weed, more so like stuff that isn't hash, so kind of human-produced stuff, and we need to be aware of that and careful of that. And I think, like anything, if you use something consciously with that in mind, then it's very beneficial. But mental health is a thing, and it is something that we should take seriously, and yeah.
When I smoke it, I get quite lazy, and I want to sleep a lot. So normally I'll either sleep or I'll just, I don't know, lay down.
How often do you smoke?
Twice a minute. Once every 30 seconds.
If you smoke too much, it's not that healthy, but if you eat too much, do anything, like, or smoke too much of anything, yeah, it's not healthy. Like, you see cigarettes, that's legal, and that can get people cancer, you know, so it doesn't make sense, you know.
Weed brings out the best of everyone. When you smoke weed, there's people that are angry in the morning, right? But when you smoke weed, it just makes me feel so good. It makes me it makes me feel positive and happy. You get what I'm saying?
Maybe sometimes having too much happiness isn't good because there's so much badness in the world.
I'm Key and I'm from London.
And I'm Luke and I'm from London as well. Personally, I do believe it is a drug, but it's not a drug that has too many side effects. Alcohol can actually kill you, whereas weed cannot. Unless you smoke a massive, massive amount of it that's actually impossible to do scientifically. It definitely affects your body. It's not always for everyone. Certain people it doesn't work for, but other people it does. And I think it should be legal just, you know, to be able to help the people that it does help.
I was given antipsychotic medication for 8 months and I was depressed in bed for 3 years, recovering from depression and massive life change. I've been in and out of mental hospitals my whole life, and it started when I started smoking weed when I was 22, and I got very confused and I was in and out of hospitals every year.
But does weed affect like your body in a negative way? What do you think? Is like damage the brain or
Everything, too much of anything is bad for you. Even too much of water is bad, and too much of enjoyment is bad, and too much of bad times is also bad.
100.
It's all about the balance. Yes.
100. I believe like life is about balance. Like you can smoke weed, but don't smoke too much of it. You can drink alcohol. Alcohol is legal, right? But you're not supposed to drink a lot of it, right?
I just want to say it's their choice. They can do what they like. Everyone can make choices in life, only if you're fully informed. And I didn't know the consequences of taking antipsychotic medication. No one really told me, and it kept me in a low for 8 months. So medication can be bad for people too. It was like a medical. It was like a medical straitjacket. The only difference between a straitjacket and medication is with a straitjacket you can still see the person because they're in the straitjacket. You're constrained by it and not feeling good. But the medication, I lost my mind, and I lost my mind on weed too. I really did. And I used to be grade 7 oboe. I was really gifted as a child, and I was amazing in a really different way. But when you smoke weed, your mind changes and you become very aware of kind of a real spaced out lovey type of happiness, you know. I loved weed, it was brilliant. Now I do yoga, breathing, and I've got a Tibetan longhorn that I use for breath, and I enjoy that. But you know, these guys, as long as they realise there's dangers involved, then by all means do it. But you've got to make sure you know what the dangers are. And I'm telling you, man, don't smoke drugs. They're bad for you. They're not. They make you feel great.
I can't lie, innit? I have no idea what's happening here. I came to do shopping, but then I ended up here. But yeah, weed legal.